This is a revocation. Revocation. Rebuking and revoking, I guess. Read. They wanted to revoke. Cited. I guess I'm just going to be citing it all. Cited. Right? This is a rebuking of vanity. And we're going to tap in and get this energy gone. So, I'm gonna need you to go somewhere. I need to go somewhere, do something. Like stay right here or move right here. Okay, you can go over here, sighted, and you can you know what, just stay right here. Go back right here, stay there. So the bottom of the deck, Empress energy, sighted. They keep on trying to. The vanity energy is denied. There's so much going on. So if you see me cited, if you hear me, what'd you call it? Just okay? Cited. Okay, and then cited. Yeah. Cited. There's a lot of energy. Yeah, cited. The tower is going up, right? Cited. Cited. There's a lot of panic, a lot of tumultuity. Yeah, cited. There's a lot going on about, denied. Yeah, rejected. They want to act like there's some sort of, they're attacking. It's like vanity is that double mirror effect stuff that I think I was talking about. All of that is being seen now, is being cited, okay? All the manifestations, all the dark matter, all the antimatter, okay, is being basically voided. Yeah, to think that antimatter would be voided, like antimatter already seems like a void, but now it's like, they say like if you put a void and another void together, then it just becomes a bigger void. But in this kind of scenario and situation, God is making it so that it's like that there be light in a situation. So it's like the antimatter is being defeated by matter. You see what I mean? The antimatter is being defeated by matter. Individuals worshiping the manifestation of antimatter, right, are being humbled. No, they're being obliterated. Like I said, it's been cited. So cited. Yeah, there it is. That's the energy that they were projecting heavy. Like it's how do I explain it in a way where it, like slander, all that stuff. Okay, how do I explain it? They were, false challenge. There it is. They were attempting to utilize the energy of mischievous oppression to cited, also denied. What'd you call it? To challenge divinity, challenge matter, challenge facts, challenge truth. They were attempting to use mischievous oppression to challenge truth, right? Mischievous, demonic energy, right? Cited. Assumes to attempt incapacitation of self-wisdom, cited. Blinded by strife, deafened by thirst, right? Projects all own weaknesses at omega, cited. Insatiable. Lies about being alpha, cited and denied, rejected. So Exodus 22:21 through 24, James 2:6, Surah 475, Bhagavad Gita 16:9, 10 evil acts, 3 of mind and body. So there it is. That's the energy oppressor. We've been learning more and more about that oppressive energy, and more so about how to defeat it. It's not about defeating one oppressor. It's about defeating the principality that forces there to be oppression, so that there might be a possession of a person, any human being at all, regardless if they're chosen or not, in the energy of oppression, or to put them in the energy of an oppressor, or to force them to become the oppressor. Whatever it is, they're being defeated now. That demonic entity, that mischievous entity, right? And I've been hearing it, right, lately. What would you call it? A lot about fairies being mischievous and the energy of mischief, and how normalized, or at the attempt of justification to make seem normal, right? Make seem ordinate, as if that mischief had any place in the realms of divinity or in the human realm, right? So it's kind of like the energy of like God saying to the devil and saying to Satan that, would you call it, that they will fall, right? Early on, that they were going to fall and that they were going to be on earth, right? But then also giving us a warning, saying that he's rebuking the devil down, and that we would have to be strong enough to be able to defeat those devils and satanic forces, so that they may be laid to rest in hell. Not to rest, sorry, laid to suffer in hell, instead of cited twice, denied, and also not to cause there to be suffering on earth for the people, cited. So they wanted to force that demonic energy to cause there to be oppression and mischief. Huh. You know, I didn't even notice that, but I spelled it wrong. I didn't even notice that. Anyway, I found them. So remember when I mentioned the person trying to create issues so that they would make it seem as if that, what you call it, like whatever it is, to make it like challenge. They were attempting to utilize challenges. They were attempting to manipulate and force the energy of a challenge. Basically, they were attempting to abuse the angels of challenge and competition. Yeah, there they are with the Lord. They're all going to God now. The angels of challenge and competition are being liberated. Yeah. Yep. They were attempting to, yep, cited. They were attempting to make seem as if that they had any kind of power or control over challenges by performing wickedness against the Spirit, against the Holy Spirit, Antichrist energy. Yeah. Yep. The ancestors are standing by Archangel Uriel now, as this was foretold in the past. And Archangel Uriel, it is up to Archangel Uriel whether or not he accepts those ancestors or not, cited. So now it's about the investments of the ancestors, cited, also denied, rejected. They were attempting to falsify their ancestry. That's what it is. They were cited. They were attempting to falsify their ancestry, in so to learn, cited, about wisdom of challenges, cited. Yeah. Yep. Defeated. That's the next thing. Cited and defeated. Yep. So Archangel Michael is speaking the truth about what's been cited and what's been defeated. There is now discernment between the cited energy, cited, in case, would you call it, and then the defeated energy that comes for it. So, yeah, there's now that perspective. There's a perspective of repair. Yep, there's a perspective about repair that's being seen. A vision of repairing. Yeah, a vision of repairing. A vision being repaired. So something that was once impaired. So, yeah, there's a death towards that liar person, the one who was unenlightened in, would you call it, Five of Pentacles energy, refusing to accept God. Yep. They were projecting impairments. That's what it is. They were projecting impairments cited. They were projecting constant impairments. And yeah, there they are. There they are. They were projecting impairments, whether it be their own or other people's, that they had already caused onto them. God is the one that can heal impairments. Coalescence. Remember I mentioned coalescence? Yeah, remission. They were attempting to falsify remission. That's what it is. They were attempting to falsify remission, and that's what it is here in that energy. They were attempting to falsify remission cited. And they were projecting false remission at individuals, and that was causing there to be vanity. Yeah, vanity is the image of false remission. Yep, vanity is the image of false remission. Yep, they've lost it. They've lost it. It's being given to God. Yep. Defeated. God wins in a situation. The truth is here. Yeah, there's an acceptance. Looks like Archangel Uriel may be accepting, or yeah, Archangel Uriel is accepting those ancestors, and now the pathway is being open. So this is like a dowry, huh? That is what I got. So that's, yeah, so God has received the dowry for me, for my hand in marriage. So that's what it is that they were blocking. Sincerity. Yep. They were utilizing vanity, or attempting to force there to be vanity in order to assume power over it, to now block sincerity from others and to others. Yeah. Yeah, there's the devil. Can't go anywhere now. They're like, yeah. Impairment. That's the impairment right there. That's the impairment right there. Yeah. Something was an impairment that wasn't even classified as an impairment until now. It's like something that even I struggled with for the longest time. Like, I really struggled with it for the longest time. For example, like, I'll be crying. People would think that I'm really like, you know what I mean, emotional, when the reality is that it's an impairment. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would be crying because I'm like you know what I mean? It's an impairment. I cited something about empathy, them attempting to impair people with empathy by projecting their dark desires of impairment of empathy. Yeah, they attempted to manifest there being an empathetic impairment, like as if empathy were at fault for some sort of vanity. Yup, there it is. Yeah, and there's the freedom and the exaltation. Yep, exaltation. And then alignment. Now the succession is clear. It's clear. Journey is clear. Excited. Yeah. The relief is here. They don't want to accept defeat. There's some sort of defeat that they can't accept. Yep, there's the tower. Yep, they can't accept some sort of defeat. They're projecting as if that as if that there would have there as if that there was some sort of obligation. Yeah. God already knew, but I was gonna ask to expose that devil, but there it is. Queen of Cups in reverse with the Seven of Wands in reverse. Yeah, their ancestors left them. That's the energy of that devil. So it's devil in reverse now because it's been exposed, this illusion of what they are. They're Queen of Cups in reverse, so it's very cruel, malicious. That's the mischievous entity. That's the mischievous entity. Cruel, mischievous. Yeah, that's the truth. And the foundation was, yeah, there's the impairment. They refused to accept that remission was possible, but they refused it. They're the ones that are in denial. Remission has always been possible. For example, there's remission here. For example, there's a plenty things that I went into remission from. For example, smoking weed, marijuana. I haven't smoked weed in so long, cited. And I went into remission. There's also remission here when it comes to my spinal injury where I died from. They couldn't accept that either. I literally died. So they can't they didn't expect Jesus to go into remission either, isn't it? That's the thing. They are projecting acceptance of their expectations. They're literally projecting acceptance of their expectations. I don't know where they're getting acceptance of their expectations from. I genuinely don't know what that is even. Isn't that like, yeah, they were attempting to distort requirements to make it seem as if that they had any kind of acceptance in expectations. You see what I'm saying? Like, what is the Holy Spirit? What is that? I'm gonna have to hold on 1 second before I even pull out these cards. Excited. Before I even pull out these cards, let me see this real quick. Defeated. Acceptance in expectation. So it's false intentions. In a way, literally, in a way, the way the chat is explaining it is like means you take whatever, and this is from the AI, okay? This is their basic reasoning of it, right? False reasoning, the principality of it right there. Means you take whatever comes, even when you expected more. You accept the hit, you accept the shift, you accept the expectations don't always cash out. This is like false envoyer energy. You know, envoys, we take what is offered. But the thing is that that energy is like not being offered. It's like they are attempting to accept something when it's not offered to them. That's what I'm trying to say. And they're attempting to make it some sort of requirement for people to exist in, as if that we had ever accepted, as cited, as if we had ever accepted something that hasn't been offered. This is like also the energy of impossible, where something is like not real. However, they are attempting to make it seem as if that it could have been for them, if only that coveting, attempting to falsify a pathway to coveting. Yeah, it's over. They're attempting to force people to manifest offerings on their behalf, cited. All in all, cited, or should I say no, defeated, then cited. All in all, to make seem as if that there was any validity of their expectations. They were attempting to force, oppression. They were attempting to force the energy, cited. They were attempting to force the energy of acceptance and somehow shove it into expectations, so people would assume when they weren't even given the offer to do so. So that's what it is. They were providing false offerings of assumptions. Through assumptions, they were providing false offerings, tempting people to assume. Yeah, they're being thrown out of the emerging market. Yeah, and they've been caught as a balance breaker. Intentionally, destabilizes groups to seize leadership. They were falsifying intentions. Not like they had the intention and it wasn't real. No, that they didn't have any intention. And if they ever did, it wasn't anything that you could see, not anything that really did exist, not anywhere that they were really working from. They were falsifying in order to make an assumption look like an intention. As if that's what I was trying to say, is what's existing in my subconscious for how long. I'll really watch someone believe what they would assume a person is over the reality, over the facts of a situation, due to what they would think is hopefully their intention. They're like someone will be yelling at me, lying to me, deliberately deliberately trying to ruin my life in front of everyone, and somebody come and say, well, maybe they just have the best for you. What do you mean maybe? The guy is literally breaking laws, breaking rules. People are literally breaking laws, breaking rules against me, cited, doing things against me. And because you want to believe, because you want to, dark desire, because you want to believe. And then there's this, what I was talking to, I was like, I'm a bit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Because you want to believe something that isn't there, to put yourself in the position of assuming, making an ass out of everyone, to make seem as if that there was something there that you're providing to them. That's what they were doing. They were forcing people to provide to them something that wasn't there, only for them to destroy it. So it's like when you give someone your last meal, you're like, here you go, you eat, I'll get it later, it'll come back to me. And then they throw it to the ground and kick it around. And now what will you get in return? Nothing. because you just let that person just destroy your last meal. Why would God give you more? Kind of energy. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like that. So they were doing this all in all to make seem as if that there was some sort of challenge, to make a struggle, cited. Literally, they were attempting to make struggles. Literally, they were trying to make struggles like crazy. Like their whole thing was to make struggles. Yeah, exactly. See, always trying to force struggles. They're the type of person like really, like if you didn't know why your ex person was always nagging at you, and then you realize they always wanted some kind of struggle to exist. Now you know where it was really coming from. I'm telling you, people don't act like that. People don't act like that. Cited. People don't act like that. They were always trying to cause some sort of struggle. Their whole thing was they worship struggle or something. Yeah, that's another thing, right? So if that's what they worship and suffering is what, then maybe that's where they belong. That's where they belong. They belong in hell, not on earth, not in heaven, and most definitely not anywhere in between. Cited. Shadow anchor. There they are. Keeps a person bound to them through shared secrets. That's what's been cited. Crisis disrupted market. What'd you call it? Info market. Yeah. And the state controlled market. Remember that those came out earlier in the last reading? They all banned them. They banned them. Like before they got thrown out, now they're banned. So oppressor, insatiable, right? Yeah, idolater, merit loss. I can't make this up. Yeah, bestialis, that's been destroyed, obliterated. Yeah, needle persona subtly provokes irritation until control is gained, cited, and defeated. So we'll turn it like that. So that's been, they were caught trying to cause irritation through performing acts for struggle. Driftwood persona floats between groups gathering scraps of influence. Yeah, I don't know how to explain this energy. It's like observed, you know, investigated. Like they've been investigated, they've been observed, they've been cited. I'm just gonna keep on using cited until like the word is clear for it. Maybe it is just cited, but that's what it is. Just cited. Yeah. Cited and defeated. Yeah, cited again. Mask seller persona, bait layer persona, yeah, card dealer persona. There they are. Distribute options knowing they all lead to personal advantage. That's what it is right there. Yeah, firekeeper persona maintains illusion of group unity while steering it to its own goals. Cited. So that's what they're using right now. They're attempting to use this energy, that energy. Maintains illusion of group unity while steering it to its own goals, distributing options knowing they lead to personal advantage to keep a person bound to them through shared secrets. Cited. Yeah, mischievous in reverse. They've been thrown out. Idolater, oppressor. So they've been attempting to cause oppression through merit loss or idolatry. They've been falsifying sources, attempting to replace them. Cited. So that individuals would be, or people, so that people would be oppressed. Insatiably attempting to cause there to be idolatry. Yeah, they've been caught. So the illusion of group unity, IB, is an idol. They attempt to make an idol of group unity to now attempt, and then they want to maintain it. They wanted to make an idol of group unity. Yeah. The sodomite energy has been caught. That's them. That was trying to support it. Murderer. Yeah, murderer. Oh, that one is literally being sent directly to hell. That one specifically is being sent directly to hell. I'm telling you right now, God is sending them to hell right now. Cited. Coattail rider. Rise by attaching to someone else's success. That's them that were trying to work together. The sodomite and the murderer. Yeah, cited. Ooh, defeated. That was a battle. It was a battle. Now I know what that is. I was wondering what that was. I was seeing that like everywhere. I was seeing that. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell? It's like, let me tell you what it looks like, yeah? It looks like a void, like a like a manifestation of a black hole. And then all of a sudden, the light comes in, and then that light goes back and forth. It's like a neuron. It goes everywhere, like that. And then it goes, and it disappears. The whole thing disappears. It was a battle. It was a battle. It was a real battle. The other ones that I said defeated immediately. The light came in. That's it. It was gone. And it wasn't like the dark energy lingers or something like that. Sometimes it tries to, but it doesn't. It usually, yeah, sighted. It usually comes in and then tries to run away. It tries to go away. It was wild. I'm telling you, like, it's a pretty intense vision. Let's say. So yeah, man stealer in reverse. They can't, yeah, there it is, fornicator, an actual rapist, right? Coerces individuals into acts against God's will, an actual rapist, right? Exodus 20:14, Matthew 5:27 through 28, Surah 17:32, 10 evil acts, 4 of speech. Yeah, they're down to speech. They're down to speech. The protectionist market, they're straight up banning them immediately. Like, protectionist market doesn't usually kick people out, they ban them. That's really what happens with protectionist market. They ban immediately. Like, I mean, it's a protectionist market. You're there to protect or you're banned. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? So you're literally only there in the protectionist market due to the pressure that local industries are under. And if there's pressure on local industries, I mean, it's local. Also cited. It's local. So it's around you. It's around your energy. You know when people say, what's in your energy collective? You know what I mean? That's immediately how your local energy, local network gets under pressure. Because then there's a requirement for there to be loyalty within a situation, because there's livelihoods that matter. They matter. Okay? They're there. Okay? They're here. And so support is always merited through that. And so if there's no real, cited, if there's no real intention for support, then banned, cited. So trapdoor persona defeated. Energy, yeah. Curtain whisperer persona advises leaders from the shadows, avoiding accountability. There it is. There's the fraud energy. Crown polisher persona keeps those in power looking good to preserve their own position. There it is, the vanity energy. So they've been caught. Defrauder. I couldn't make this up. The card was laying there. I didn't see it until now. Defrauder. I'm telling you, they've been caught. Monopolistic sided. The monopolistic competition. That's the energy. Monopolistic competition. Pressure for pressured differentiation. Differentiated similarities. We'll say that. Pressured differentiated similarities. So things that are similar, but are already, things that are similar but are still different. You see what I'm saying? That's like uniqueness. Pressure for differentiation among similar offerings. They attempted to impede on the monopolistic competition with fraud, with fraudulent resources. That's what it is, with fraudulent resources. Yeah, the monopolistic market, I can feel, is throwing them out. Cited, also defeated immediately. The monopolistic market is throwing them out immediately. They attempted to enter monopolistic competition with fraudulent resources. Sower of discord coming through. Attempts to contort circumstances, to falsify judgment, indecisive and confused. There they are. That's them. Proverbs 6:19, Titus 3:10, Surah 2:191, Manusmriti 4:30. That's actually really funny. 4 of speech. So they were utilizing resources to enact their speech. They were utilizing resources to enact their speech. And thus the resources became fraudulent. Cited. Also denied. Yeah. The vision is becoming clearer now. Poison chalice offers gifts that carry hidden costs and damages. They were waiting for that. Cited, denied, and rejected. Defeated. They were attempting to act as if that, yeah, switchblade persona turns friendly to hostile instantly when opportunity arises. That's what they were projecting in the collective. Cited. They were projecting that constantly collective as if the collective was never there for the Most High. Cited, defeated. As if the collective doesn't care about God. Cited and defeated. False guardian. Claims to protect but actually confines and limits. Bait fisher persona. Drops tempting opportunities to conceal traps. See? That was the... Remember I was saying tempting? Yeah, animal abuser in reverse. Yeah, they couldn't do it anymore. Anchor thief persona. Removes a person's stability to make them easier to sway. They were attempting to make it seem as if that stability is something that could be moved. That's what it is, as if that stability is something that can be moved. I don't know how else to place the wording right now. That's another thing. It's like cited. It's like what'd you call it? Defeated. It's like that's where the insanity comes in. They're insane. They project cited and defeated. They project their insanity. Also cited and rejected. Cited and defeated. They project their insanity. There it is. There it is. There's the what'd you call it? Yeah, they were making it seem like there was cited. They were making it seem like some sort of remission didn't have its own name, like remission. They were confusing, yeah, cited. Oh my gosh. They were attempting to force there to be confusion, cited, upon the discerning concept, the discerned concepts between alchemy and remission. Remission is basically, yeah, cited and defeated. Remission is basically what alchemy was supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? Alchemy, it's just like communism. Alchemy was supposed to be, as grand as it sounds. But what actually happened, right? We learned that lesson, right? Then communism happened. And then we learned that lesson afterwards again. It was like that was a constant cycle. It was like individuals attempting to remake, yeah, cited. They were attempting to redeem. There's redemption. Yeah, they were attempting to redeem through remission without calling it what it is. And that's why it would always be overturned by the divine. Yeah, and now that energy is on the table. They were attempting to cause, there it is actually, I put it right there. They were attempting to literally cause there to be impairments to spirit. They were attempting to impair spirit. Cited. Denied. Yeah. There it is. Archangel Uriel is actually celebrating. Wow. I'm actually I'm pretty shocked. Because God is so good always. I'm shocked that Archangel Uriel is only getting to celebrate now. I'm shocked. It must have been so hard. It must have been so hard. It must have been so hard. He's so humble. Archangel Uriel is so humble. He's honestly, I'm learning a lot from him. It must have been so hard. You know who Archangel Uriel cited? You know who Archangel also defeated? Really um shows up in the energy on earth like how we experience him, like gone. Literally like gone from Hunter x Hunter. I kid you not. He literally got, like, it must have been so hard, right? Like if you know Gon's story in Hunter x Hunter, like he's been through so much. Like, yeah, okay, so y'all get it. Just making sure. Like you must have done your research. Yeah, Empress energy at the bottom, like you've seen Lord is here. Yeah. And Lord, because all of the praise goes to God. Goes goes. What the heck? All the praise goes to God. What the heck? All the praise goes to God. And so yeah, cited. What'd you call it? Oh, it's like the heavens are now getting the information about my love life. Well, now, wow. Yeah, cited. So basically, like the full story. Um um it's like you write, what would you call it? Yeah. Sorry, Lord. But it's like he wrote all these different, like he really paved the way for those stories to exist, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. He paved, I mean, he really did pave he made the way and paved the way, right? So that's what I'm saying, is like he really paved the way for those stories to exist. So like every time you praise everything that he knows that he created, he made it like in its purity. So when you praise the right aspect of it, it's like it all goes to God directly. It's like, honestly, it makes him very happy, and it makes me very happy as well. Yeah. So astonished. Yeah. Yup. Also cited, cited, and also denied. Yeah, there's this astonishment. Yeah, there they are. There they are, and all the stolen, fraudulent resources. They were attempting to wonder. They were attempting to hide resourcefulness and resources in as if that there was some sort of condition for it. Literally attempting to astonish people, utilizing vanity stolen from others that they forced others to now be in. They were siphoning people's blessing, no, the image of the blessings, utilizing vanity to make an impression on people, to astonish them. Yeah, excited and defeated. That was their whole thing. Yep, that's the truth. Yeah. And there it is, the whole Ten of Swords energy. Yep. They're very guilty. They're very guilty. Yeah, judgment on them now. Yeah, because they were trying to, yeah, cited. They were attempting to receive the insight. You see now? They were attempting to receive the insight, also attempting to put challenges in the way of individuals in order to observe, right? To falsify observation and experimentation and all that jazz. That's also been cited. Yeah, this is the truth. This is the truth. The messenger, yeah, is coming through. The message is coming through, right? Yeah, it's coming through. The veil is being obliterated and the truth is being lifted. Yeah, that's what it is. 4444, stability is being lifted. Yeah, the principle is resurrecting. Ooh, because people often forget that, you know, Christ had to die too and resurrect. Not that Christ had to die, but that Christ did die. Christ did die and still resurrected. So it's, yeah, cited, also fallen. What'd you call it? Yeah, defeated. Christ did die and resurrect. So that the principle here, there's a principle that died, but it's resurrected now. Cited also. Whoa. Man, what a relief. Man, that is so scary. Judgment. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The truth. The like the way that my arms just got weak, like weakened, because literally, what a relief, right? Like, you don't understand how scary. Yeah, like my arms literally weakened. You don't understand how, no, collective, like maybe one day you will understand, but right now you might not understand how scary it really is to be a warrior of God. Okay? Also cited. You might not understand. If if you're out there, welcome. Yeah, now we can get to it. Why all my videos are like this, okay? If you're out there and you're watching this, right? Hi, survivor. If you're human and you're watching this and you've survived all these apocalypses and you've been here all this time, right? Cited. And you know, whatever you're going through or whatever it is, and you know you're still human and you've been human the whole time, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life to the fullest. Please, for us. You don't know how important you living your best life really is to the divine cited. You don't know how important you are. And you will only know at the end of it all. So don't rush to it at all. Enjoy yourself. Really, God bless even the mean girls. Okay? So judgment. Yeah. There's a tower on cited. There's a tower on the overcome challenges, the challenges that had been overcome, right? So imagine you just finished playing a video game cited, and now it's over. It's the end credits. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? The only cited, also the only video game that I've ever played that was able to really like show the full scope of how it feels like to be a beta tester in a world that God created is, what you call it, near automata, which is why I really admired the idea of androids. Because it's more so, yeah, cited. Also, very scared energy is falling, okay? Is crawling, falling, tripping, right? And so, what you call it? It's like it. Spoiler alert for those of you guys that haven't played it. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Okay. Um, cited also in the game when the end credits roll. If you, yeah, you can still log back into the place that you saved last, and the android you were playing with gets rebooted into the model, right, of the android that's like there, and then their memories are all saved there, and your safe station, right, is there, and so you get to roam around the world after you've already finished the main mission, completing all the quests and yeah, completing all the quests and doing all the side stuff and farming, you know what I mean? Just running around, kind of playing, you know? But once you log out, I mean, you're faced with real, right? You're faced with the rest of everything else. You're faced with God and everything else that He's created, you know? And I'd like to think that that's pretty cool. Cited, also defeated. Yeah. Defeated. Something got defeated. Yeah. Cycle complete. There, didn't I tell you end credits? Yeah. That's what that is. The world energy. specifically not like the world, but specifically the four, the man, the eagle, the bull, and the lion, right, in the four corners, and then the woman in the middle, right, with the cornucopia around her. And credits. Thank you for playing Earth Simulator. Earth Simulation Golden Age, I guess. Beginning, right? I guess I don't know what to name it. Yeah, I guess I guess the whole point is that it has no name, right? Can you tell who I am yet? I hope maybe one day people would know who I am. Although I do really like to stay anonymous. Cited. Anonymity is pretty cool. I mean, cited. Ay. Yeah. Echo persona repeats others' ideas as if they originated them. They're being caught now. Yeah. Attempting to do necromancy, which failed. Not only did it fail, but they've been caught as a necromancer. Right? Yep. They can't do it. Deuteronomy 18:11, yeah, cited, also defeated. Matthew 8:22, Surah 27:65, 10 evil acts for speech. See? For speech. Speech. Deceiving those with strong longing. Acts as if the dead are living. Yeah, cited. Also defeated. That was God defeating that energy. Specifically. String keeper persona holds connections between people and pulls them to cause outcomes. Yep. They were attempting to make it seem as if that there were some sort of strings, but it was actually death or dead. Antimatter. So they were attempting to pull people through antimatter. Yeah, which in reverse, Shade Lantern in reverse, they've been banned from the balanced market. That was basically the market that they needed the most, the balanced one, where the challenge is equilibrium under pressure. Yeah, they were attempting to blame the market. Cited. They were attempting to blame the market for their behavior. Being a necromancing witch. Yeah. Because they attempted to defeat it. They attempted to abuse the power, defeated, of predictability. That's the merit that comes from the balanced market. So shadow economy is now here to tell the truth about the whole situation, right? Pressure, operating under pressure. Operating under pressure is here, where it's necessary to adapt and defeated. It's necessary to adapt, and the reality of it has to do with providing where systems fail, right? The whole point is to merit, or no, that's the whole point, providing where systems fail. Systems don't actually have to fail, right? Cited. But the reality is that that's where maintenance is found, isn't it? Yeah, defeated. They were attempting to abuse maintenance due to, yeah, they were attempting to abuse maintenance. That's pretty crazy. I'm hearing it now. They were attempting to abuse maintenance. That's like angels. Angels are like the maintainers of reality. So that's maintenance. When you call for maintenance, like when we earth angels call for maintenance, it's angels that God sends to us. God uses the angels to maintain reality. Not reality for himself, but reality for us and for themselves. They were attempting to also cited and defeated. They were attempting to abuse the things that are that supports stabilize reality, the pillars. Yeah. Defeated. Yeah. They're drunkard in reverse. Yeah, they've been caught. Scriptwriter persona creates narratives others unknowingly follow. The whole thing in this wording is so incorrect. I'm gonna read it again. Creates narratives others unknowingly follows. That's not right. Disobedience is what it is, isn't it? Yeah. Creates narratives others unknowingly follow. They project their disobedience from being a covenant threat. Yeah, they're being caught. It's like they refuse to let go of their disobedience from when they were a young child, even if the lesson was learned, or even if the lesson, yeah, whether the lesson was learned or not, they refuse to let go of their disobedience. They refuse to see it for what it is. Yeah, they've been banned from the emerging market. That's hard. Yep. They've been banned from the emerging market. Sorcerer. Yeah. They already had so many limitations. I'm not even read that, honestly, because it's like so much and they've been banned like from the market. So it's like, no, they're not gonna get any, they're not, yeah, decided they're not gonna get any kind of way, right? If you want to find out about it, then you better study the script. And I'm not going to give you a clue about what script to study. Cited. You got to learn that and be obedient. Yeah. Because they're not gonna have that weapon nor opportunity to face change. Yeah, coattail rider. They can't coattail ride anymore. They can't pretend to be firekeeper. Yeah, they're seen as an actual rapist, trapdoor keeper persona. Yeah, they attempted to make it seem as if that the power that they had was to drop people from their security to ruin. That's what I'm trying to say. Sided, big sided energy. They were doing the most to make it seem like they had power over darkness. And as if the people were secure in the dark. They were lying to people and attempting to tempt people into darkness, to force people to use that darkness against themselves and their own spirit, so that they would, yeah, they're being banned from the seasonal market too. That's pretty crazy. They're being banned from all these markets, man. All because they were assuming, that's what it is. They were projecting the assumption and the acceptance of the assumption of power to drop someone from security to ruin. Michael defeated that one. Defeated. Yeah. In case you want to know, well, how did Archangel Michael, because I know some of you guys are curious, like, how did Archangel Michael, like, you know what I mean? I'm not mocking you. I'm literally, like, retelling what you were saying in case one of you guys does it. Cited. And is that he sent down a sword. Like, you know, when you dart, like, that's what he did. He sent down a sword directly on it, and it went, and it broke them apart, obliterated them. It's pretty cool. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, silent partner persona. Yeah, that's what was cited. Cited again and defeated. Influences outcome without visible involvement. You see what I'm saying? They thought that they weren't being visible. That's another thing. They always thought that they were invisible or something. That they thought that they would project an accepting of invincibility in order for them to be unsighted. But they've been sighted. they can't use unsightly energies. You know what I mean? They can't use unsightly energy and not be seen. You know what I'm saying? So they're sighted. They're being sighted. They can't be unsighted. Yeah, judgment. There it is. Yep. Yep. And I knew that you guys were, yeah. Yep. Alignment is here. Yep. Alignment is here. And now justice is coming through. Real justice is coming through. Sided. Yeah. Double-sided. Double-sided. That's really funny. Denied. Sided. And rejected. Yeah. Yep. There they are. Denied. They are attempting to make it seem as if like this is what I'm trying to say. Haunted. Yeah. They're in deep hell. Someone wants to invoke someone who is in deep hell. They're attempting to call them forth and everything, but they're in deep hell. Sighted. Not only that, but they're dead is what I'm seeing. Yeah, they're doing the most. That's what it is. They're attempting to project that acceptance in expectation energy at anyone right now for naught. That's what the energy is giving. Yep. Sighted. There's an energy of like, yep, there it is. There it is. I can't make this up. That's them. That's their ass right now. Sighted. Now they're being chased. Chased right into hell. Yep, they're being chased right to hell. Yep. They thought that they sighted. Also defeated. They didn't expect something. See what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, I'm actually so funny. So they didn't expect something. I just talked about how they were trying to force acceptance and expectations there. Just to be like they didn't expect something right afterwards. Hold up. Because it's like they don't have the intention where to expect from anyways. So with no expectations or no intentions, there's no expectations that are viable. And due to there not being any expectations there, it's like they're attempting to hold a grudge over acceptance. That's what it is. That's where the vanity and insanity is coming from. They're like attempting to deter acceptance for vanity and insanity. Yep, and now it's being caught and they're put under judgment. They're attempting to deter acceptance for vanity and insanity. Yeah, there's the healing. Yep, it's all being given to God while they're under judgment. Yep. Yep, the Lord is seeing through this. I mean, he has been seeing through this and past this. They keep on, by the way, cited, denied, and rejected. They're attempting to force the worship of imperishment on them, on people, on me, on everyone. I had to like plug it out there for a second. But basically that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, exactly. See? Cited? Yeah, cited. Okay. I had to come through there for a second because something is Something is like attempting to falsify an arrangement for insanity. Like they're doing it all for insanity. They're doing it all for like the not energy of it all. For not energy is in vanity and insanity, because insanity and vanity is for naught. So all of it is going full circle back to them. It's like they're the snake biting their own tail. It goes vanity, insanity for naught, vanity, insanity for naught, vanity, insanity for naught. Yeah, they can't accept their punishments. They're trying to make it seem as if that the punishment is supposed to be stopped by their command or something. That's what it is. They're attempting to make it seem as if that, yeah, that punishment is under their command. Like if they choose not to feel punished, then they won't be punished, kind of energy. God will make them feel punished and punish them more. Like that's the crazy part about the whole situation. They really want to make it seem as if that they're not being punished. Yeah, that's what it is. Like I'm really enjoying this. Like that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's the bratty energy I'm talking about now. You hear it? Like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm asking for. Like this is what I'm trying to say. It's like it's very, very much like that. I'm getting everything I want, like that. But then at the same time, it's like for naught. See, vanity, insanity for naught. That's why they're being put down at this point. Yeah. Yup. Yup, it's being seen. Yeah, they can't pretend. They're like being silenced. They will be silenced. Yeah, God will silence them. Yep, thank God. God is going to silence them. God will silence them is what it is. Yeah, God will silence them. There it is. Ooh, they didn't want to. Nah. God will silence them. God will silence them. God will silence them. Since they didn't want to be quiet, they didn't want to be silent, they didn't want to, yeah, they thought that they could approach spirit. That's what it was. They thought they could approach spirit anyhow. They thought they could approach God anyhow, do anyhow. Yeah, they thought they could talk to God anyhow. That's what's getting me. That's what probably was pissing me off. They thought they could talk to God anyhow. As if that they could say, God, do this and do that. As if that they could go to God, yeah, defeat it. As if that they could go to God and be like, I told you, like that energy. That's crazy. Insanity. Okay, now they're going to be perished. Yeah, God will perish them. God will perish them. They're not going through any kind of, no. It's the end. That's it. No forgiveness for them. That's it. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, there it is. The remission is very possible. Believe it or not, remission is very possible. Remission is a very real thing, and people do deserve remission. Nobody deserves to suffer and struggle from drug addiction. No one. Not one person in this planet has to suffer from any kind of addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, impairment of any kind, blindness, strife. No one has to suffer. Peace is real. And if they can't handle it, then they are going to be perished. That's it. You don't talk to God anyhow. The fuck? Crazy. Crazy. Insanity. I told you, shut your bitch ass up. Insanity. Yeah, Archangel Michael is going directly to them to make sure that they perish. That's it. Insanity. Lost your mind. Yeah, they really thought that they were out here making it seem like they as if that someone had to be disillusioned, as if we're out here asking them, you know what I mean? Asking them questions. We don't have to ask them any questions. We see them for exactly who they are. We don't have to do shit for these people. We don't have to hear them out. We don't have to even call judgment on them. They can just be perished. Annoying ass. We don't have to put, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. We don't have to put any kind of judgment out here. We don't have to make judgment work. Excuse me. We don't have to do any of that. They can just cease to exist. Simple as that. And that's exactly what's going to happen to them. And if you need to see that happen, collective, then you will see that happen. You will watch these energies cease to exist and watch people wonder why nothing has changed. You know why? Because they've ceased to exist, so there's no more energy around them. Cleanup time. It's like when Hitler shot himself, but the Nazis still existed. Like the leader ceased to exist, but the group was still there, cited, right? Don't worry about the group. Don't worry about those energies around. The main one is gone. Yeah, now we got to deal with the conditions that they done left behind here. Cited. Yeah, cited. All those things are being cleansed out. You know, where systems fail, now you see it. Yeah. I guess we just got a job to do, right? Yeah, there's judgment on that. Yeah, remission is what it was. They were trying to set conditions on remission. We already knew that. There's no more any conditions to be in remission. It's being given to God. It's being lifted. Cited, defeated, fallen. Yeah, there's a resurrection. Cited. Cited. Yeah. Yep. Yep, there it is. So, remissed means let go, relaxed, neglected a duty. Remissed. That's really funny. Remission and remissed are two completely different energies. Neglected a duty, let go, relaxed. Huh. I don't know if that's true. Let's see. Was neglected, failed in duty. Now it's making sense. Was neglected, failed in duty. He remissed in his obligation. The hell does that mean? He was neglected in his obligation. Oh, negligent, my bad. See what I'm talking about? Was negligent, failed in duty. He failed in duty in his obligation. So they wanted to make it seem, they wanted to confuse the energy of one being remiss and remission. So for example, Lucifer remissed. Yeah, Lucifer remissed. That was what he had caused. Yeah. Lucifer remissed, for example. Right, there it is. Yeah, that's right. So when it came to vanity and insanity, that now is being cleansed out. Vanity and insanity about a situation. People can't, like, I don't know what it is about it, but individuals attempted to act as if that nothing could ever be remiss, cited out of some sort of like out of cited, defeated, out of pride, out of the energy of like pridefulness, attempting to make it seem as if nothing could ever be missed, especially around them. Energy cited. They were projecting that at people to cause oppression, especially oppression when it comes to remission. Cited. Slacking, basically. Negligent, slacking. They were projecting that's what that is, slacking. You gotta be an unlucky motherfucker to really slack. But they're being caught now, slacking. Yep, they're being caught slacking. Yep, didn't I say gotta be a real unlucky motherfucker? They really were caught slacking. Yep. Cited and rejected. Cited. Denied. Yeah. Defeated. There it is. It was the condition that you would have had to slack in a sort of way. You would have had to slack as if that if you go too fast. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like that's the same narcissistic energy that I had to like run away from, for real. Like I would literally be hurting in my knees because I was working really hard. But for some reason, someone was really telling me, also defeated twice. Somebody was really telling me, oh, it's because I'm growing too fast and I'm hurting. So I'm in pain because I'm growing. Can you imagine? I'm not in pain because of environmental factors, of my own, like, are you serious? So like, there are people who've never felt pain before, right? That they've grown their whole lives. They're very strong human beings, but they've never felt pain before. Cited. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like they're really trying to act like some sort of pain or horror is some sort of necessity because they go through it, because that's what they put themselves through, because that's what they've been through. And the thing about it is none of my business. So, denied. And people want to act like just because you're in pain, that means and so. When you shoot yourself in the foot, you're also in pain. Are you supposed to be blessed for that? Excuse me? Yeah, denied. Yeah, devil energy. That's what they're projecting all the time. It's not really my fault, yeah? It's really not my fault. They think that excuses are going to do something in this moment. They're waiting for an excuse. There's no excuse. That's the whole point. That's why I said it's been denied. There's no excuse. You earn what you earn. You don't slack in a situation. You don't slack on yourself. You don't slack on God. You don't slack. You don't neglect yourself. You don't neglect your children. You don't neglect the world. You don't neglect anything. Yeah, cited. And also denied. And also defeated. Yeah. That's what they're not understanding. They don't want to understand. You don't have to. They don't have to understand, collective. They don't have to understand. They're slighted. Slighted. Cited. Slighted. Slighted. They've already been cited. Like, yeah, they've been projecting all this at the Omega. All this. Treated as unimportant, insulted, neglected. Exactly. But they did that to themselves. Made small. Right. They did that to themselves. That has nothing to do with, yeah, cited. That has nothing to do, yeah, that's a completion. They wanted to project all that energy and the image of it continuously to make seem as if that they could control some sort of comprehension. They wanted to control what could be and couldn't be comprehended all the time. That's confusion. Because confusion stops you from comprehending. And if you are confused, then you are literally not comprehending something accurately. Cited. And if you cannot comprehend something accurately, then the only thing that's going to help you in the situation is actually learning. That's why you got to learn your lessons. So you're not sitting there confused all the time. Insecure and indecisive, because that's how you shoot yourself in the foot, holding a gun backwards. Like literally. Like that's what I'm trying to say in a situation. People really want to sit there and act like they're so threatening. The only one who's threatened is you. Not you, collective, but the only one who thinks that they're threatening is the one who is threatened. And the only one who's threatening them is themselves. That's why they're so confused. Some people will really be jealous about themselves. Don't get it twisted out here, collective. Some people are really jealous about themselves. Like they really produce envy for themselves to sit there and pretend to now, you know what I mean? Have sympathy for themselves. Cited. They really walk around like, wow, like I don't know how they do it. Cited. I don't know how they do it. They really envy. Oh, that's what it is. They envy what they could have been capable of when if they hadn't done what it is that they've already been done, when God had gave them the possibility to do what it is that they were supposed to be doing. God will really give them an opportunity. They want to act like that opportunity isn't available for them only when it's too late. They want to wait for the opportunity to pass them by. Then they want to be jealous that the opportunity isn't there for them anymore. Like, what? Let me just make sure. Let me double check something real quick. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. But that's another thing that I'm trying to say. Yeah, there it is. They kept on attempting to take a paradigm for granted, is what it is. They kept on attempting to make it seem like a paradigm was always going to be there for them. As if that it was, yeah, even like saying it out loud, like this is really dangerous. But me even being aware of that and then being double aware of that is on its own self paradoxal, which is in my ability, is in my strength. You see what I'm saying? It's like they can't falsify a paradigm that doesn't exist, especially not anymore. Let me explain to you, right? Cited. Let me explain to you why it seems as if that them falsifying a paradigm might have worked in the past. It's due to the fact that people put in the energy to make it seem as if it really did exist, even if it didn't exist. Remember when I was saying in the past that people would be literally giving up assumptions? They would be giving assumptions to these people to fill in blanks where they believe that those people couldn't do it for themselves, when in reality is that those people were never trying to fill in those blanks. They were actually making blanks for themselves. You see what I'm saying now? So now they want to now put a gun to their head with a blank in it, but they don't expect there to actually be a bullet there because that they've made a blank for themselves. You see what I'm saying? So when they get shot, then they want to be shocked. You see what I mean? Like, cited. Like, they don't understand how the universe works, and they don't have to. That's the reality of the situation, is that we all grew up not really knowing how the universe works until we did. That's why they can't make it like a lie anymore. They can't lie about the paradigm anymore. Because maybe in the past, people were less aware, but now people are more aware. Empress. So it's not that it did exist and then no. It's that now it can't even seem to exist anymore. It has ceased to exist. Period. Empress alignment. Now I'm going to God. Literally going to God, all of me. So I'll see you guys when I see you guys next time. Stay safe out there. Bye. Thanks.